far right, we have Michael Buckley. Next to me, to my left, we have Cynthia Kirovic. And to my far right, we have Maria Girardi. And we are ready to go. Public comments. Do we have any public comments whatsoever? Good. No public comments. Number 4, discussion and action items. Consideration of possible action on the substandard structure for property located at 507 Belcher Street, legally described as Tract 6 in Block 2-3 of the Winslow Robinson addition to the town of Cleveland, Liberty, Texas. Danielle?
Yes, sir.
Take your time.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, not yet.
Okay. Is Mr. Chalico present?
Give me one moment really quick. I'm going to introduce everything to the board and then I will shift it over to you, Danny. Thank you. So this morning we do have on the agenda the consideration possible action on the substandard structure for property located at 507 Belcher Street. If you are familiar with this property, it is right across from QT. This has been an ongoing item for, I want to say, a year or so now with this property. If you've been by there, you will see that it definitely something needs to happen with it. There's no possibility that this can be renovated in any way. And from the city's standpoint, it is something that we are requesting to look into being demoed on this property. Like I said, it's been an ongoing with this. I believe in the beginning of, I want to say maybe last year or so, from what I could see prior to my time being here, there was a discussion with Govea Construction, who is the owner of the property, to either have it demoed or the city could step in, have it demoed, and then almost like, I guess you could say, a repayment of that project be completed. I believe at that time it was directed that Govea Construction would take care of the demolition on this project. Here we are in 2024, still has not been done. I know that there has been communication with code enforcement letters being sent out. They do reach out, but now it's gotten to a point to where we've needed to do a hearing regarding this property to see what the next phase is for this project. And at this time, I do have Molly and Danny, who is with TCG. They do take care of the substandard structures for the city of Cleveland. So they will go ahead and speak furthermore on the property and just the history on it and what we've done to get to this point at this time. Danny, go ahead.
Danny, first off, can you see us, hear us, all that good stuff?
They can't see, they can only hear.
Yeah, we only have audio.
Okay, so you can't see us?
I don't see that your camera's on. If you want to turn that on, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'm good.
Okay, is that okay now?
Yeah, but I don't think with Teams it works to have the camera. Like, I don't think they can.
But you can hear us, correct, Danny?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, if you don't mind, give us your name and tell us who you're with, where you're from, if you don't mind, real quick.
All right. I'm Danny Barrett. I'm the director of Texas Communities Group. I am a certified and licensed code officer. And with me today is Molly Flores. She's our administrative director, and she too is also a licensed and certified code officer. The property that we have.
Don't mean to interrupt you. Can you speak louder for us? Our system here is just not. We're hearing you, but barely, if you don't mind.
Okay. The property before you today to determine substandard is, like you said, the property is Tract 6 in Block 2 and 23 of the Winslow Robinson addition to the town of Cleveland, Liberty County, Texas. It is located at 507 Belcher Street there in Cleveland. The owners are Govea Construction, LLC. As you can see in the packets that Samantha prepared and put to you, all of the notices and noticing phases have been sent in accordance with your ordinances, and then that's what finds us here today. I actually inspected the property back in February. and I looked at the 3 buildings. I did not enter the 3 buildings, but I looked at them from the exterior, the right-of-way, driveway there. There are 3 buildings, and as you can see in the packet, there is severe deterioration. There are two buildings that are probably worse than the 3rd. I'm going to go to the packet now and just kind of look at what we saw there. I'm going to, we can, I think it's page, there's some pictures in the packet there. I'll take you through those. On the two-story structures, the weathering, the deterioration and dilapidation is severe. There's openings throughout the building. The roof is in complete disrepair. As you can see, there are some stairs and structure there. They're dangerous. The roof is allowing, seepage and from wind and weather and rain. It's just severely weathered. In addition to that, in and of itself, which when you have probably the leakage and seepage that we're seeing, you probably have mold, vast amounts of mold within the building. Additionally, I noticed the electricity, the boxes on the outside and exterior were in disarray. The sewage and just openings in the outdoor structure shell of the building are beyond salvageable. The building, the 3rd building is a brick, single story. The roof, there's several issues again with the electrical and the sewage. There are some open sewage outlets that are just open, the lid's off. Where you can go in, plunge, and clear out the sewage. The lids have been off for I don't know how long, which gives caused erodents and further flooding and damage to the plumbing. I don't believe any of the electrical or the plumbing would pass any sort of building inspection or code. The roof on the brick building, single-story building, is so old. Not only do you probably have leaks in multiple places, but the shingles are kind of bubbled up and which causes leakage, which again, you're going to have mold within the attic and probably through the walls. Anywhere that you have where water can go, you're going to have some issues there. Again, I obviously when you're on the property, you can tell there's been no maintenance. There's been no safeguarding. There are some plywood. I would ask, did the city place that plywood or did the property owners place that plywood?
Hang on one second.
I'm not 100% sure about that. Do you know if y'all placed the plywood on that property?
Yes, to cover the windows of.
The owners placed it.
The people
Okay.
are getting in, so we cover the windows, we cover the doors, nobody will be going in there.
Okay, so they did. The owners did secure the property.
Okay, very good. Other than that, I looking at the property, it's uninhabitable. It cannot be rehabbed, and our suggestion to the board is to consider it substandard and move forward to the council for an abatement order.
Thank you, Danny.
I have a question. Danny, did you
Yes, sir.
the structure itself, is the structure itself in disrepair, not up to standard?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time understanding. What's that again?
Danny, he's asking if the structure itself is substandard. And the structure
Yes,
is repaired.
Yes, it is severely substandard.
The structural load of the building?
Again?
The structural load of the building is in disrepair, is that correct?
Yes. Along the border, at the base of the deal, there are open cavities, there are broken bricks and cement there. So all along the foundation, there are cracks, and the building is just not safe.
And it looks like we've notified them on numerous occasions for quite some time. Is that, it looks like 2 years? So
I believe so. I believe so. You know, when we started working substandard structures there, this was obviously a concern. I think due to the longevity of the battle there and trying to get the owners to bring the property into some sort of ordinance. Obviously, they did safeguard it to some extent, but there's still, you know, there's open stairwells. If I wanted to get in, it would have been very easy to enter the building. But yeah, I believe so. But we started fresh after my inspection in February with renoticing all parties.
give us some history real quick, Danielle. Why have we not done why has anyone not done anything with this property?
I don't have an answer on that. This was before I arrived on with the city, that I knew that there was records of this property, and I believe legally, I mean, if nothing is done within a certain time frame, we are having to start again from, you know, step one, because notices were not sent out properly, that they were, you know, the way that they were supposed to. And there is a procedure when it does come to substandard structures. So if that does not follow through on those procedures, then you kind of have to revert back to step one. So whenever I came on, I knew that this was a property that we needed to begin working on whenever it came for substandard structure. So this was one of my main focuses, to begin working on this property. And I reached out to Molly. We were in constant contact and, you know, trying to get my feet wet and get on board with what we needed to do and be familiar with the procedure. So we started working on it. And then that's when, you know, Molly and I kept working on it. She introduced me to Danny, and then we started to be able to get to the, you know, the part that we are at now, to ask for, you know, the zoning board of adjustments to be able to, you know, give council direction on what the proper way is to go from here.
And we have a representative from the,
From Go Beta Construction, yes, sir.
is that who you are?
Yes.
Come on up, tell us who you are, where you live,
My name is Carlos. I live in Spring, Texas.
and who you with.
Govea Construction. We've been trying to, since about 2 years, we've been getting the notices, and we've been trying to, we have been attending the meetings. And at the beginning, we were trying to restore the property. And of course, we were looking on our budgets, if it was gonna be worth it to restore the property, to make it look back again the way it was. And the people who were helping us to get the right budgets and all that, it was gonna be out of our budget, and there were gonna be so many things that the property was gonna need pretty much to restore it, the whole thing. And that was gonna be way of our budget to repair the property. As now, I believe probably, yeah, it was last year that we were gonna do the demo on the property, and we were requested to get asbestos test. And we did that. There were like minimum asbestos on the property. So then our financial situation changed a little bit when we were about to demo the property. I submitted all the paperwork for the demo, my insurance and all that, and then the financial situation changed for us a lot. We could not afford it at that moment anymore to demo the property, and we're getting our financial back so we can do the demo. I think that's gonna be the best way to go. And we're gonna demo the property and completely, even the slabs, because I agree with Mr. Danny was saying, yeah, it's just unrepairable. So that's what we're at right now. We're trying to get our financially back so we can have the money to demo the property. You know, we just need I know it might sound a little, but we just need a little bit more time so we can get the money so we can demo the property. And I guess at this point,
Oh, go ahead, I'll pause.
what? Yeah, no, I'm done.
So, it's been over 2 years evidently. When are you gonna demo this property?
We are probably
Give me a
collecting,
realistic timeframe. What's your realistic time?
let's say, well, we're already in May. By August,
And what's your cost to demo this property?
I've been getting some quotes, and it's gonna be about 25,000.
Wow. We've
That's the lowest one that I have.
gotten a quote to demo the property too, have we not?
Yes, we've gotten, sorry, my apologies. Yes, we've gotten verbal quotes, and so how I split it up was if we are going to demo just the buildings as well, or with hauling off, or demo the buildings and slab work to bring it to grade, have that hauled off as well, we're looking at roughly $100,000 for that, and that's just a verbal quote. I don't have an actual quote in hand because we are still working on that to see, but yeah, that's just a verbal quote that we've gotten to get that done.
Okay, so for us, our decision here today is to make a decision on exactly what. To demo it, to not to, what are we actually, Danny, what are you,
Yeah.
tell me what
You know-
you're exactly wanting from us.
Okay, here's our suggestion. Generally, you don't go over 90 days allowance for a property owner at a hearing. So 90 days, let's say May 1, May, June, and July. So that would give them, 90 days would take us to the 1st of August approximately. What we would need to do today is declare the property substandard. And then we'll, at the recommendation of the board, move it for council approval at the next council meeting. And where the council would vote to abate the structure. Upon an abatement vote at the council, there's a 30-day appeal period for the property owner to appeal the decision through the district court. After that time, if there's no appeal, the city can go about taking action to bring the property down. The city can then bill the property owner for that cost. If it's unpaid, the city can record a lien for the cost on the property. So my suggestion, if he's saying August, obviously, this property has been going on for some time. I would suggest declaring the property substandard and moving it to the next council meeting for their approval for the abatement order. That takes some time. I don't know when the next council meeting would be that we could get on, but you at least have 30 days.
Scott, does that actually go to council? Or is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, it goes to council.
Yes.
So basically, all you're requesting from us is to declare it substandard and move it to council for the abatement.
Correct. And then what I would suggest to your representative there from the property owners, it's time to address the property. As you saw the quotes from the city, oftentimes a property owner can get a lower cost. Usually when government and city come in to do work, contractors' prices go up. And so that's not unusual that the city gets a higher quote than maybe the property owner's looking at. It's just kind of the way.
That's a very large difference, though.
It's just kind of the way of the world. So my suggestion is rule it substandard, and for the property owner, if you'll deliver to the city a concise timeline of the construction and a completion date, and adhere to that, even if the council votes to abate the structure, we'll wait and give you, the time, at least 90 days to the 1st of August, to complete the demolition at your expense and get that done upon, a receipt of the timeline, and then our suggestion, we can ticket a property owner that is in violation, $200 a day. We would suggest upon payment of a fine of $500. And the reason is, we come to these situations and sometimes property owners just need time, they're dragging their feet, whatever it may be. Obviously, maybe there's financial concerns in putting the money together, but it's kind of an earnest payment that the property owner is in it and intends to follow through with their plan. And so our suggestion is vote the property as substandard. We will give them 90 days upon receipt at the City Hall of a concise timeline of the demolition construction work to be done with a definite completion date. We would suggest strongly it would be before August the 1st. And then payment to the municipal court of $500 fine for substandard structure. And if the property owner is willing to do that, we will take it through the process and assure you that no work will be done before that time.
And I guess my question on that is, when are we expected, or what is their deadline to provide the scheduled for construction as well as to pay the $500 fine?
Today is April the 24th. It's a Wednesday. If the payment of the fine and the plan, that's kind of your call. We work for you guys. What's comfortable with you guys? I would say at the latest would be Monday.
Okay.
Monday of next week,
Let's
which is
ask, Carlos, if you don't mind, for the use.
the 29th.
Yes.
Tell us what you can do. Can you get this wrapped up before August 1st?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so look, let me run it down to you real quick, real easily. I hate to be so blunt, but this is the way it actually is gonna work. I'm just gonna take out all the sugarcoating he was doing. If we do this, it's gonna cost you $100,000, because we're gonna put a lien on your property, and that $100,000 is gonna come back to us one way or another.
Right.
So our Economic Development Corporation will end up paying that money to get that thing demolished. And our bids are already over $100,000.
Correct.
So I think it would hurt you to make sure and get this done a lot quicker than we do.
Correct.
This has been going on for 2 years. It's time for it to, let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
So all we need then is a motion to, how do you want that motion?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Because this has already been going on for 2 years. I know this motion's been set before, and it's gone back and forth, back and forth. Once we set this in motion, it's a done deal, correct?
Yes, and from my understanding, I don't even believe we've gotten this far to do this portion. I think the
Correct.
furthest we've gotten is just communication of basically through letters and then through Gobea saying, okay, well, no, instead of y'all doing it, we'll go ahead and get it taken care of. We've never gotten this far as a hearing.
From what the research I did, what it looks like to me is that we have given them letters, numerous letters, obviously, and Mike, they haven't held up to their end of the bargain on.
So I guess that's why I asked, once we do this, it's set in stone no matter what. Either
Yes.
we're gonna do it or we're gonna get it done.
Yes, sir.
And we need a time frame.
There's no pushing and starting all over again.
Right.
For
And I do
another-
have a
We almost
question.
got to this point last year, came to an agreement
Mhm.
that it was gonna be demoed by them, and that's kind of when we stopped the
But-
process, because they agreed to it, but that
Right.
didn't happen, so we had to start all over.
But
And
then
now we're
they
back, so
did
now we definitely need to, from the city's perspective, we definitely need to get this secured so that it gets demoed either by them, or if they don't within the 90 days, then the city does it.
Right, and that was my follow-up question, Danny. I do want to confirm that if this is not completed by August 1st, does the city have the right to go ahead and move forward with our portion of the demolition after August 1st?
Yes, and I want to make clear to the representative there, Monday, and that's up to the board, if that's a proper time to have your payment of your fine and your timeline delivered to the city.
Carlos, hang on one second, Ben, and just get on the same page real quick. Carlos, when can you have that fine and your deadline submitted to the city? How soon can you have that done? Can you have that done today?
Yeah, I can do that today.
So, with the
Okay.
commitment, you can pay the fine today, give us a commitment on a time frame that when you'll have it down in writing. Danielle can do that after this meeting. Can you hang out till the end of the meeting and get this done today?
Absolutely.
Great.
And.
And then just to make sure, what we will do in the meantime is you'll vote the property as substandard. It will go to council for a council hearing where we will ask the council to abate the structure. So we'll have an abatement order which allows the city at that time, if the property owner fails to follow through, to go in and do the work at that time. So, just so the property owner understands, we'll still go through the process with the council, and I can't speak for the council, but we're gonna request an abatement order. Again, we have to sit on that abatement order for 30 days, and then we will allow up to August the 1st. But then at that point in time, if the structure's still there, incomplete in any way, the city will be able to go in and clean up the property.
So just to be clear, Carlos, what we're gonna do today is we're asking the board to go ahead and make a motion to mark the property as substandard. What we will receive by today from you, if at all possible, is a construction schedule for the demolition to be completed prior to August 1st and a $500 fine paid to the Cleveland Municipal Courts for that. If the demo is not complete by August 1st, what happens is that the city will be able to step in and demo the property, and Gobea Construction will be responsible on paying the city back. If that is not done, then what will happen is a lien will be placed on the property. But prior to that being done, we would, after this meeting, for May's council meeting, this will be presented to them to go ahead and motion approval of abatement of the property.
Okay.
Okay?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move forward on our end, at least listening to Mike and Cece here, but I think what Mike's point was, is we're gonna move forward on our end to demolish your property. You need to beat us to it. So that's
Correct. By August 1st. I need to be done by August 1st.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
basically,
Then I do have another question then. If by August 1st, he's already started demo and it hasn't been completed, what happens at that point?
good question. Danny,
Okay.
Did you hear that, Danny?
If I heard that right, is say if there's some demolition done but not complete?
Yes.
Correct.
So, yeah, just to be clear, he said, I know my mic's working a little bit.
Okay. Well, what we would do then is your contractor, we'd get a bid for cleanup of whatever residual demolition is remaining. So, if your original quote was maybe $100,000, and maybe they brought the building down, but there's just debris, it'd be the cost to haul off that debris. So whatever
So
work,
basically, that's what it would do, is we would just pick up where they left off by August 1st.
correct.
Understandable.
Does that understand?
Yeah.
And can we get a written estimate from whoever y'all use?
Yes, I am going to still plan to get an estimate. I need to get 3 bids for that cost anyways. So again, I'm going to be working with Roger and his department on getting that for us. So we at least have those numbers, and just, by any chance that needs to happen, we'll get those numbers.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend, maybe doing a Friday date, but he has to have a fine
Yes.
before. He's saying he can do it today.
Well,
We give him to that Friday.
no, I understand that, but you're saying you can do it today, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you need till Friday, or can you do it today?
well, she's asking me to get you
Yeah, it's going to take time to get the construction
Yeah.
schedule. So
I
by
can do that.
Friday, if you can do it by Friday, then I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And it's just,
Yeah.
and basically, it's a construction schedule, but we want to know, really just have something in writing saying you're going to have this demolished by August 1st.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. And just one more question. So, once I send you, one question, if I just send you all that are scheduled for the demo by August the 1st, from, let's say, we start in next week or next month, can I get the complete clearance to do that from you guys, from the
Well,
city?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was my next question from Danielle. Does she
So
need
what I
to
would
permits
need-
to demolish?
Yes, so what I would need on my end is the asbestos survey, as well as you would need to pull a demolition permit. You could get that all over to me, we could do it through email, I believe I don't think I have your email. But, you can provide me your email, I could go ahead and get all that documentation to you, so we could get started on that today. That's something that we can work on today, is if you have the asbestos survey, submit that over to me, pull the demolition permit, and we'll be good to go. So whenever you're ready for demolition, you already have your permits pulled for that,
Okay,
okay?
so I think we would actually, he doesn't have to wait for council.
No, because he would want to act on it as soon as you can. You do not have to wait on council. If you want to get that done today, you can definitely do that
In
today.
fact, if it's demo before May 21st, the council day will
That's-
pull it from the
That would
council.
even be better,
The
yeah.
the quicker
absolutely.
you can get this done is gonna be a lot better for you. I mean, you've already, in this conversation, you've already made $75,000 in your pocket. I'm just getting you straight, I mean, that's reality. If we're gonna be at 100,000, you can get it done for 25. In this time period, you just made $75,000.
That is correct.
On the schedule, is it gonna have to show like I know typically on construction schedules, it's gonna show A, B, C, D, like we're gonna start with this part of the demo, then we're gonna have this part of the demo, this part of the demo, this part of the demo. Is that the way you're gonna have your schedule set up?
A start date would be critical, and then a expected completion date. If you're using a contract, let us know.
So Danny, what you're really, all you want on that schedule is basically a start date and finish by date.
Plus the permitting that's necessary
The
with
normal
Danielle.
permitting you go.
Mr. Chairman, I do want to request that we get an actual construction schedule, as Michael Buckley was requesting, only because that would give us a good timeline of saying when building 1 is going to be completed, building 2 is going to be completed, building 3. I think that's just a better presentation of going about it for record keeping, is having the actual schedule of dates whenever everything's going to be done, all the way through a completion date.
Mr. Buckley, Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that, because that way, it gives you a track record to keep up.
Correct.
And I know weather is an issue sometimes, so it's gonna throw a schedule on. But the sooner you start, the more time you got, so we're just trying to keep we know where you're gonna be at, what your expected dates are, so that if we're not following those dates, then the city has a little recourse to, hey, what's going on, why haven't we been, your time, you told us this bill was gonna be down by this one here. Even though you have to the first, it's kind of something to hold you responsible for the job, so, like I said, you got till August 1st, but we just want to make sure we got a schedule and plan to stay on top of it.
Sounds good.
Hey, Maria had a question real quick, Danny, just to make sure we're on the same page. If it's not done by his date on his completion form, she was wanting to know, can we find him start that $200 a day fine as we are completing our portion of it? That was her question in Central, correct, Maria?
That's for the city to decide. This is code enforcement. You have codes, you have ordinances, and the noticing portion is making, your property owners aware. The enforcement portion is when you come in and you do the work. The goal in code enforcement is to remove the nuisance. You can fine. I feel like sometimes we can get into excessive fines where the goal is actually just the removal of the nuisance. And so that's our goal. That's what we strive for, is working with the property owner, giving them opportunity to remove that nuisance. And if we don't, we as a city take that action. I would think if he follows through with the work, I think the fine here would be good. Then you're going to, should you have cost and work to do at the end, you're going to place a lien on that property. And then, when that property sells, that lien will have to be cleared at the closing of that sale. This is just me, it's my opinion, we work for you, you guys decide that, but I would think the 500 fine and then their completion of the work would suffice. Should they not, and the city have to go in and do some work, our goal is to try to get your money back.
Thank you, Danny.
I just make recommendations, give it to the August 1st, at that point, have a schedule set up, because it's weather. Whether we get a drought or we get a lot of rain, so that's gonna play with a lot of stuff, so as long as it's done by August 1st, then we don't have an issue, but I would like to see a timeline, you expect to have everything done. So.
I agree.
But it does give a little bit of, if he said I can have it done by June 31st, or June 30th, whatever, the end of June, then or July 1st, and then he has to have a month to work in because of weather, it gives him that time to
Yeah.
get stuff done.
There's
So.
that cushion.
As you can tell, Mike does a lot of construction.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I deal with,
Yeah, and-
you get all kinds of
Rain
stuff.
days
And two, he
and
may
everything.
find something in there that he may do a little bit different
Right.
because the original demo plan is not gonna work, so, it just, they're giving some time, so if it's done by the August 1st, I wouldn't have an issue, but I would like to see a schedule. on
And
how-
with us asking for that detailed schedule, which is normal practice whenever we're dealing in construction, on having a full construction schedule, that does take time. So that's why I do ask that we extend his time. I know that he's saying he can do it today, but I don't want it to be rushed to where it's just thrown together. I want accurate dates, so I do request that we do give him till Friday to at least provide a full construction schedule along with paying the $500 fine.
So-
Is Friday gonna be enough time for you?
Yeah.
I know it takes a little bit.
Yeah,
so-
it takes a lot of time.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Monday, but if Friday can work for you, I don't have.
Friday is fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna need a motion deeming the property substandard with a construction schedule, and a $500 fine, and construction completed by August 1st. Is that pretty much right, Mike? So we need a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion from Mike Buckley deeming the property substandard with a construction schedule in place and payment of a $500 fine and the construction to be completed by August the 1st. Do I have a second? I have a second by Maria Drowley. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Carlos, Danny, we appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank y'all.
Danny,
Hey, Danny.
Yes,
do
sir.
we need a recommendation to go?
Oh,
the
you know
amendment
what?
to council?
Yeah, we
Or
can
is
do
it
that.
just automatically go to council?
Well, let's just make that recommendation also with our motion.
I'll make the amendment.
Okay, Mike Buckley's gonna, we're gonna redo that. Mike Buckley's gonna make that motion, amendment on the motion. Deeming the property substandard with a construction schedule, the $500 fine, construction needs to be completed by August the 1st, and a recommendation for the abatement to our next council meeting. Got a motion from Mike, a second from Rita Girardi. All in favor? Tracy? I'm so sorry. Motion carries unanimously. We're on the same page, Carlos?
Yes, sir.
Everything good?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Danny. Will that work for you, Danny?
That works great. Thank you, guys. Glad to work for you.
That'll work. Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Number 5, consideration and possible action on application by Eddie Lowry, applicant is requesting a variance due to installation of required concrete runners for mobile home parks. The property is located at 915 South Line, legally described as Joseph Fenner, tract 55 acres is 0.96. Danielle?
Good afternoon. So I do have in the packet, of course, Mr. Lowry did submit his application for the variance on concrete runners. If you are familiar, this is an item that does come often to the zoning board of adjustments because on our ordinance, we do call for concrete runners to be installed for manufactured homes. However, this is not a state-regulated item, so we do have to, where some owners do come in and ask for that variance to go ahead and not apply the concrete runners and then move in the manufactured home. And then we do have some that do go ahead and move forward with the concrete runners. However, Mr. Lowry is requesting the variance of not allowing those to be on the site so he can have his manufactured home on land.
Perfect.
And I do have Mr. Lowry here if y'all have any questions.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Lowry? Basically, so we've done this on several others. It's, our city ordinance requires concrete runners underneath manufactured homes, but our ordinance does not specify size, thickness, rebar, PSI, anything. And we've recommended it go to city council for a change. We just haven't gotten there yet. Yes, and it's not a state required. So essentially, the state requires A, and then municipalities can increase that requirement to suit their needs. The problem in this situation is sometime or another, Scott and I and others have tried doing a little research on it, and it's just been so old, it's kind of hard to find anything out. But at some time or another, we required concrete runners underneath manufactured homes, but they had no specification on the build, on requirements or anything else. And ever since, we just got to get it changed. So, any motions?
So, motion for a variance for the concrete runners.
I guess how we usually word it, that's pretty much.
I think this one is just a motion to approve the variance of the concrete runners for the property.
So I have a motion to approve the variance for the concrete runners for the property located at 915 South Line Street. Do I have a second? Mike Buckley is giving me a second. Any other questions? Anything? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Lowry. Thank you.
That's something that we need to get straightened out.
Yes, sir, it is.
And we have been discussing this for,
Either you're gonna do it and have a set code on how they're gonna be done.
Correct.
Or just to leave it all together so we don't have to go through this later.
I agree.
and if we could, it would be good to get that, if we can, to city council eventually, or,
What do we need to do that?
so just someone's gotta get it to city council and amend the ordinance. I mean, it sounds easy. Had no idea, it's only been 6 months. So, that's some city council.
I mean, there's something we need to.
So I would have to do research on it. I would have to talk to our attorney just to make sure if there's not any laws out there that does require them. And then on the municipality side for us, what is out there for us to be able to put in the ordinance on there.
Is there a state code requirement?
There is not a state law.
So it's just a city.
It's just it's almost just like a preference what we require. So I would just have to talk to our attorney, make sure I get all my paperwork, all my ducks in a row, and any questions that may come up that I'm prepared to answer those questions.
I think I would go through planning and zoning first.
Probably, yeah. So I'll just have to research the
I can
process.
see this being an issue, because some people are told they have to put them. and
Correct.
They put them in, and then you have, where they can just come here and get that.
Yes, sir.
That they don't know, that's money in pocket they've already spent, so.
Absolutely.
I'm just looking over for the whole.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but it is something that I do need to research on which route we need to take in the procedures, because I don't know if I need to go through planning and zoning first and then go to council, or how that process works. But I'll begin working on that just so we can get it resolved and not have another variance or. You're welcome.
Number 6, construction and possible action on the application by Washburn Company agent for ASGI Homes LLC. Applicant is requesting a variance on lot size requirements of 7,500 square feet. The property is located at Glen Park, Cleveland, block 49, lot 7, and 8 acre is 0.6975. Danielle?
So regarding this property here, you see on your, I have a site plan on top of the council desk as well as in the packet. So these, this specific property for lot 7 and 8 right now sit horizontally on Daniel Street and South Holly. South Holly is an undeveloped roadway, so getting access to lot 7 and 8, you can access lot 7 from Daniel Street. However, that does not allow you access to lot 8 with the current, the current layout that those properties are in. So what they are asking for is a variance on the lot size, because in order to gain access to both of those properties to Daniel Street, you would have to swap those to be vertically. In doing so, that does only bring their lot size to 7247, I believe, and some change. However, in our ordinance, a R1 lot size has to be 7,500. So what they're asking for is the variance on the lot size of, I believe it's 247 square feet, I believe is what the math was when I last checked. Variance lot size on that. So that's what we're here for today.
So 7247, 7,500 is 253 square feet. Is that about right?
About right.
So, a little background, we went to city council on the abatement on the alley, as she said. I went by and looked at the property. The property is definitely, we need to get something built on it. Get some tax revenue coming in off of it, for sure. And you have somebody here with Washburn Company, is that right?
Yes, sir. I do have Tricia here if y'all have any questions regarding access to the property or any history on it with the developer.
Tricia, do you have anything or no?
I can answer any questions for you if you have anything. The developer's ready to build homes on it, so.
I'm sorry, can you start with your name and who you're with?
My name is Tricia Hawthorne, I'm with Washburn Company, land surveyor.
And what are they doing to this property? What are they going to build on it? What's the end goal?
So they have, for lot 7 and 8, they have homes that are 2,400 square feet, 48 by 50 homes that they want to build on there.
How many?
There's two homes,
Two homes.
one home on each lot, 48 by 50, 2,400 square foot home.
Brick?
I'm not sure exactly
Is it on foundation? Is it, any particulars at all?
I don't really know the particulars of it because they kind of went back and forth on it because I think they were planning on building a little bit bigger homes on it, but he's went down to 2,400 square foot.
And what was the dimension on those?
48 by 50. And he has his builders ready to build. We've been working on this since August of last year.
But I know we're talking about these two lots here, but I was just checking the other lots, and they're only like 7,300 square feet
Exactly.
on the other one, so, I mean, this is gonna be something that's gonna be brought up again and again and again, so.
Right, because when the subdivision was originally platted, they weren't platted for 7,500 square feet. But the restrictions on subdivision lots have changed since the original plat, because this was platted like in 1908 or something like that. It's an old subdivision.
I'll make a motion that we lower the lot down to the size it is and give them a variance so they can build a house, because you're gonna have that on every lot in that area, and that's something that needs to be grandfathered in.
Yeah, and there's 7,250, the other lots aren't.
Yeah.
The lots are the same.
It's one of those, it's a couple hundred square feet, it's not a 1,000 square foot lot,
Yeah, my calculation is only 253 feet is all we're giving a variance on. So I have a motion by Mike Buckley to approve the variance on the square footage size. Do I have a second? I have a second by Cynthia Kerwick. Any other questions or anything? No? All in favor? Motion passes. Congratulations, Tricia, is that right?
Yes.
You're good to go. Thank you, ma'am, very much. Yes, ma'am. Danielle, anything else?
No, sir. just so y'all are aware, on those lots that are non-conforming, which are lots that are, already platted prior to being replatted, we do have setback requirements and items like that that basically do grandfather those lots in. However, the lot size is still the 7,500. A lot of the times what we run into is those setback requirements because they are changed for those new lots that are replatted versus those existing grandfather lots. Those setback requirements are grandfathered in. So we do have items like that, those
And
requirements
they
are.
pulled permits or, well, of course, they haven't yet, obviously.
Right.
Are you dealing with that, on that property, or is it?
We haven't got that far yet. So, but it is gonna be with the owner, but we haven't got that far yet because we have to have this replatted and, with the county prior to doing anything.
And then they can start building.
Then they can begin building.
Is the, whoever owns these lots here, they own the lots across the street, and under those roads?
They own the same ones that are right above it, which is 9 and 10. I don't know what further lots they may own, but I know they do own those two above them as well.
So they're all going to access these if they develop that way.
Hopefully that's a discussion I will have for them on to possibly even, developing the roadway on South Holly because it is needed. I mean, that would honestly be the only answer for them because that's the only way they would be able to access those lots. They won't have any other way of accessing those lots except for doing it on South Holly. So that is a further discussion I'll have with them whenever we get to those lots.
Awesome. We got anything else?
No, sir.
All good. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Got a motion by Mike Buckley to adjourn, a second by everybody.